Ladies and gentlemen, fight fans all around the world, let's talk some boxing. So we're looking at boxingscene.com. There's an article in there concerning Guillermo Rigondeaux. You know I'm a Guillermo Rigondeaux fan, so you know I'm always interested in anything that concerns Guillermo Rigondeaux. So, Guillermo Rigondeaux offered on June the 20th to fight Scott Quigg. Now, as you know, his manager was trying to get Scott Quigg to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux as a mandatory because Scott Quigg is the WBA regular champion in the super bantamweight division and Guillermo Rigondeaux is the super champion. So the manager wrote a letter to the WBA to encourage them to enforce their mandatories. Now, Scott Quigg, Eddie Hearn, Scott Quigg's promoter, was trying to get negotiations done with Carl Frampton's team so that Scott Quigg could fight Carl Frampton. And Eddie Hearn personally wants to see Scott Quigg fight Carl Frampton before there is a fight with Guillermo Rigondeaux. Of course, Guillermo Rigondeaux's team is trying to get Scott Quigg now, like in June. Now, the interesting thing about it is that Carl Frampton's team has turned down the offer for 1.5 million pounds to fight Scott Quigg, and he gave his reasons for that. But Guillermo Rigondeaux is willing to fight Scott Quigg for a fraction of that in the UK, in Scott Quigg's backyard, and he's saying make it happen for June 20th. Now, Eddie Hearn, you know his view on things. Scott Quigg, on the other hand, he's interested in fighting Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, where this may lead, I don't know. But I would be happy if Quigg would at least step up and fight Rigo. The only other guy who I see actually stepping up to fight Rigo is Nonito Donaire, who has re-entered the division. So we'll see if Scott Quigg will actually fight Guillermo Rigondeaux, if anything can actually come out of these negotiations. Because Guillermo Rigondeaux is a big name, and if Quigg could beat Guillermo Rigondeaux, definitely do huge things for his reputation. If he loses to Guillermo Rigondeaux and remains in one piece, it still does huge things for his reputation because Guillermo Rigondeaux is seen as the Mayweather of the super bantamweight division. So taking a loss to Guillermo Rigondeaux is not necessarily a disappointing thing. It depends on how you lose, of course. That makes it more disappointing. But of course, Nonito Donaire already took a loss, so why not? And I mean, the experience that you get, then probably Scott Quigg might be able to easily defeat or give Carl Frampton a better run for his money because guess what? Carl Frampton's style is the orthodox version of Guillermo Rigondeaux's style. So anyhow you take it, Scott Quigg is in a win-win situation. If you fight the master and then you go and fight the pupil, you probably have greater chances of beating the pupil if you fought the master. So if I were Scott Quigg, I'd fight Rigo. Even if I lose, I'm going to gain because I probably could beat Carl Frampton because I've seen the style at its absolute best. So now I probably can defeat a less good style than that style because I've seen it before. So it's in Scott Quigg's best interest, as far as I'm concerned, to fight Guillermo Rigondeaux. Well, you guys have a great one.